We get lots of questions about estimating using book time. And for those of you not in the automotive industry, book time is simply an estimate that is provided by the manufacturers, and then labor guides or labor guide providers make adjustments to that. It's often based on the warranty times. And here's what is important about that. The warranty times are based on new vehicles. The warranty times are based on vehicles that have not been abused or mangled or modified by anyone. And they are often calculated in such a way that the technician has all the tools and all the resources they need to make said repair directly in front of them, and it's set up in a very efficient and organized manner. And I think the reason they do that is because they recognize that that technician is going to do this repair over and over. So he may have a list of tools. He knows what tools he needs. He gets those tools, he puts them on his cart, and he begins to build a process for doing that job. Now, here's the thing, is that puts the automotive aftermarket at a disadvantage. And why is that? Well, we're not working on new cars. We're working on cars that in often cases have been repaired in a particular system 3 or 4 times. And those cars may be corroded and rusty. Those cars may have stripped out bolts. Those cars may have bolts that don't want to come out. The car may be saturated in oil and gunk and grime. And so to do the proper repair, you have to think about that. Some of those components have to be cleaned up. We have to clean the bolt holes. Sometimes we have to replace hardware, and we have to measure the hardware to make sure we get the right hardware. It takes us more time in the automotive aftermarket to make that repair. Now, for the past, say, 40 years, many shops have relied solely on that book time or that estimate time to create the estimate for the consumer. Now, I don't necessarily think that's a problem in about 90% of cases, but I do believe that if we're talking about a shop that services every make and model, that time has to be prepared by the technician. Now, here's my rule. When we talk about time, I still have to make sure it is fair for my consumer. I can't just let that technician come in there and give me whatever time he wants and me set that estimate to that and say, well, that's how much we're charging. No, I have to trust but verify. I have worked technicians who would come in and demand 4 and 5 hours over what the book called for absolutely no reason. No evidence to suggest that was needed. Gone out and looked at the vehicle myself, done the job in under the original book time that was called for. And so I've learned I can't just trust what someone says. I have to do my own research. I have to trust but verify. And so here's the rule. My rule is I will give you a 0.2 or 0.3 multiplier on every book hour. Where does that come from? Well, the warranty repair and the labor guides do not account for test drives. They do not account for cleaning components and things of that nature. So I automatically add a multiple of 0.2 or 0.3 on every repair. If at that point in time, you come to me and you say, I need more time, I will give you up to 30% over or under that time, because I want to be fair, right? Like this is really why we use the terminology estimate instead of quote. It's because I don't know what we're getting into. We're working on machines. And sometimes these are complex machines. Things don't go according to plan every time we work on a complex machine. And so I'm working to balance this. I'm working to be fair with my client. But if it is over that 30% variance, I'm going to walk out with the technician. I'm going to review the job. I'm going to say, show me, help me understand why there's a time variance. Well, it's got these running boards on it, and I can't pick it up on the 2-post lift because the running boards are too low, and there's no adapters tall enough. So I either have to take the running boards off or I have to do this on my back, right? That's a variable. That makes sense. Hey, boss, it's super rusty. Come look at this. That makes sense. Now, a lot of consumers will come back and say, well, but if the book calls for that, you have to charge what the book says. No, I do not. I set my price, not the book, not you, not anybody else. I choose what I charge to repair that vehicle. The caveat is you have choice in that. I am never going to tell you you don't have a choice. I am never going to repair that vehicle without you telling me first it's okay. Proceed with the repair. Okay? You always have the choice to say no. If you want to shop around and you want to get other estimates, as long as you're comparing apples to apples, I don't care. Call them and ask them. I don't have a problem with that. But my point is I'm not just charging you for that. I'm giving you the opportunity to tell me yes or no, I do or do not want to do this repair. Once you decide, and I get my 50% down payment, now There's no negotiation of that, okay? But this estimating process is 100% all about protecting the consumer and protecting the shop. As repair shop owners and as repair shop technicians, we should be paid for the time we spend working on a vehicle. That's all there is to it. I don't believe that's negotiable. I don't believe that just because we have times laid out, that means that's the Bible, that's accurate, that's exactly what we should charge. I believe that we have to be flexible. I believe that we have to be understanding, and I believe that we have to be fair. That's the extent of what I believe about book hour. I don't think book hour is always accurate. I don't think book hour is always right. And I don't think that technicians who believe that it's going to take 40% more than the book hour on every single job, believe we have a responsibility to be fair and balanced. But that's just my opinion. Y'all have a good one.